Adam, and I play guitar and I sing.
I'm Katrina, and I play keys and sing.
I'm Andrea, and I sing, and sometimes I hit things.
A drum.
Mostly
noises.
drums.
Mostly
yeah.
drums.
It's a hint.
It started in the summer of 2009 here in Vancouver, and Adam, Andrea, and Alex, who plays guitar in the band, started the Belle Game. Were the three original members, but Adam had to go to school in Montreal, McGill, which is where he met me. So we started doing like East Coast, West Coast Belle Game, and then met our bassist and drummer last summer when we were doing work here in Vancouver. And then since then, that's been our original lineup. But then unfortunately, again last fall, Adam had to go back to school again to finish his degree. So as of May this year, all of us on the Montreal side moved to Vancouver permanently. So as of May of this year, we've been here in the city.
Been a Vancouver band.
Yeah.
It was weird because I moved to Montreal to play music, and I really loved it. But then there was a lot of things where I was kind of like, it's weird. A lot of people here, it's really focused on like certain musical, not like trends, but it's more about just like getting together, everyone plays music, just doing whatever, spur of the moment, and there wasn't as much of a focus on like, I want to be a musician for my life and make this a career and write really good songs. Coming back to Vancouver, all the bands that we played with, like Eight at Night is someone who, from his first album, you could tell he wanted to be a songwriter forever. But it's been kind of nice for us because we kind of have been able to, or at least what I hope we do is merge that idea of good songs and like timelessness with kind of the noise and craziness and kind of currentness of Montreal. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, there's definitely like a DIY sort of like an energy, I guess, that's really associated with Montreal that's different from here. And neither of them are like negative or positive, or I just hope they, yeah, exactly.
They're just different.
They're very different, but yeah, I hope they work well together, I think.
Yeah. So the song is kind of about looking back on kind of memories growing up and kind of struggling with the idea of which ones were actually like important. Like, was the first time you got drunk really that pivotal of a moment in your life, or is it just kind of like a small thing that you think is huge at the time? And so Jeff, who Andrea and I actually went to high school with, heard the song and seemed to really like it. And in the video, the concept is this guy's going around scanning other people's memories, trying to find something meaningful because he doesn't have any of his own, I guess. And then kind of the end of the video, he scans the stranger and then realizes he's actually in her memory, and maybe he doesn't have his own moments, but he affected someone else some way in like this tiny way where they met at a party. So
Yeah, and he also explains that like we live in a society, or we live in a culture where, you know, you go here, you do this, you see this, you're bombarded by this, you're on Facebook, you click on the internet, and like there's so many things that come at you. And I guess there's a certain significance in just stopping for a moment and realizing that certain things you do influence other people, instead of this guy going and scanning everyone and being like, oh, nothing here, oh, whatever, oh, I'm bored. And then finally getting to someone and realizing that there's a connection there and stuff you do matters.
yeah. On this EP, yeah, that's definitely like an overarching theme of it. I mean, some things go into detail more about specific ideas, but that's definitely kind of, I don't know. I think it's what most young 20-year-olds start to think about.
Yeah, I know. And Jeff, the director of the video, used a great quote, sort of like, you know, you think of those days when, you know, you'd have your summers off from school and you'd sit around and do nothing, and sometimes you want those days back, but sometimes you don't, and it's kind of almost painful or nostalgic in a certain way to think of that time in your life and be like, it's just sort of, when you come to your, I guess, early 20s, it's just sort of hard to know what you want, I guess, and sort of adjusting to growing up.
It's hard to know what's meaningful,
Yeah.
I guess.
What is your direction for the EP coming out tomorrow, and what did you want to get out of it?
It's tough.
Those songs came at a really, I guess, sort of interesting time for us because it was when we were still split up and sort of the songwriting dynamic changed, and we were working with JCDC Productions, who's Dave Parswell and John Collins, who's done the Destroyer record and the New Pornographers. And I don't know if we had like a specific message or direction for it, but we recorded many songs with them and chose these 5 as the ones that we were the most proud of and that we definitely enjoyed the most.
I think one thing that Andrea can attest to is that we really wanted to move away from the first EP.
Yeah.
Because we're really proud of it, but we made it like 3 months after we formed as a band, and it was kind of like, to me, looking back on it, it kind of comes across as sort of one note. It's kind of like the same thing all the way through, and we'd gotten to a point with all like 7 members or 6 members where we knew we were onto something, but we didn't know actually what made the Belle Game. So working with like JCDC, they really helped extract, kind of what made us, and kind of that like young energy mixed with an aged willingness to edit yourselves.
Yeah,
It was mostly John Collins, speaking in the talk back and saying faster.
Yeah. Like, come on, you're young.
Saying
You can play
faster.
faster than that.
Saying faster. Cut that out. No, try that again.
Try it again.
Yeah.
Faster.
Do you really need all the
Faster.
violin?
Yeah.
It made a huge difference though.
Yeah.
Like just
Definitely.
hearing we spent a lot of time, in that, so much time in that studio.
Yeah.
And just listening to the initial recordings we made, the original ones we made in there, compared to after our long stint, it sounded dramatically different just by a matter of saying faster. Make it faster.
It took a bunch of old guys to teach us how to be young
Young
to
and-
be a young band.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. Oh.
Random facts.
Oh my god, I don't know. Adam's a great cook.
Thank
He
you.
makes lots of good food. And he's part Indian. So
Not Mexican.
there's not Mexican.
Yeah, not
so
Mexican.
there's many great curries involved in this good food.
Random fact, the age group between members of the Belle Game is 17 years from
a
youngest
gap.
to oldest.
Yes. This is true.
Andrea, what's a random fact about Andrea? Andrea's really good at drawing.
Yes.
She's
she
one of
is.
the best artists I know. And Katrina speaks French.
Yeah.
This
She's
is true.
It's really French.
Yeah. Yes.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Hi, we're the Belle Game, and you're watching Fistful of Sound.